If I had BB max ascended and leveled, she might be a good choice here as well. Revelation first. So yeah, 24 crit stars off of Buster, or an Arts Buster Arts turn. Pretty good. We want to keep everyone topped off. And we want to get Jean's Noble Phantasm. Ooh, that is a very strong defense up. So since we're about to get hit with Shadow David and Shadow Lancelot, we're just going to use Luminosity Eternal right now. And we can be a bit more cavalier with our Jean NPs when we're just fighting the Shadow Servants, but once BB comes up, we have to time that out very specifically. 2% away on Phantom here. Oof. Alright, so support Phantom is our Phantom for this run. And back to the Jean train. Excellent. Arts crits are always nice. Ooh, they bullying. They bullying hard. So what we're gonna do is Arts, and then Noble Phantasm Chain. We have to bring this Phantom's HP back up. Lubu's death sound is very strange. I feel like that's bugging out. And we've gotten unlucky on our hands after the Jean Noble Phantasm as well. Lubu just has a weird voice in general, even for a Berserker. I guess so. It's just from farming the one node that I remember him being in. Okay, that was excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and just use True Name Revelation on the Shadow Servant. Song of Grail, Phantom, Jean. And so now that we've started the Guts chaining, we have a little bit more breathing room to work on dealing with the Shadow Servants rather than refunding the NP. Crits are good. Yeah, Shadow Lancelot is a pretty significant threat. Fortunately, next turn we will have the Cure All Allies up again. And for this turn, we'll just focus on getting the Jean Noble Phantasm. And with those crits, we're able to deal with the Shadow Servant, take him down before he gets his NP off. Okay, so we lose the Guts now. So Cure All. And since we have a Jean Noble Phantasm ready, we can go Christine, Irie Arts. And it's just barely not enough to get the kill on Blackbeard. So I'm going to rely on this crit here to bring him low, and then we'll either get an overkill or a kill on the arts card and start building up the Phantom Noble Phantasm. So one of the better tools in our arsenal is Noble Phantasm Chains, because the overcharge effect on the two supports is just always healing. A weird targeting choice, but the Irie Noble Phantasm refund is kind of more necessary here. That was some decent crit star generation from Irie. Okay, so we're going to use Irie's healing for herself. And now we start hitting crunch time, because as soon as we take out Blackbeard, we bring in BB. Oh, I was wrong. Totally forgot that there was an assassin. But with Irie, we're gonna most likely take out the assassin pretty quick. And I don't know why the video keeps lagging behind. So we're going to use Sacrificial Resolve here. And then we're going to do Irie Song of Grail, because we have already lost the Guts. Irie Song of Grail, Irie Arts, Jean Arts. So we have a Noble Phantasm on Phantom next turn. Child of Nature. I don't really know why that's the name of that skill, but whatever. Yeah, that's a yikes on Irie. But we have Jean Noble Phantasm available. And that's going to be some good charge for Irie, and then hopefully we'll get an Irie Noble Phantasm next turn as well. Probably not, unless I get some very lucky 10% crits. But if I have to, I can use the Mystic Code to guarantee the Noble Phantasm. This fight would be so much easier if that Jean Strengthening had already come out. Oh, wow. Okay, so now we have BB back, and it only took us 20 whole turns. So we're saving our charms and our stuns just to ensure control over BB. They're bullying Irie today. Gonna use Command Shuffle here because we need more arts cards in our hand. That's fine. That's a-okay. So the Guts is a nice buffer, but it's still... Irie's still at a much lower HP threshold than I want her to be. Oh, it looked like she was going for Irie right there. Suddenly have flashback to the last Neurofest. Irie was your MVP while dealing with the Hassans. I honestly have no idea how I dealt with the Sans. I do not remember it one bit. So we're going to have Irie just heal herself. And then next turn we'll have an Irie Noble Phantasm. Those Neurofest challenge quests were loads of fun. I can't wait for the next Neurofest. Cool. So this is excellent, really. We can go Christine, which might kill Shadow Diarmuid, Song of Grail, Luminosity Eternal. Okay, so we leave Diarmuid alive with 212 HP, which is awesome. Ooh, we get another servant costume for who? Nero's tracksuit, awesome. I'm caught in that weird space at this point where I have a ton of servants that I love, and they're at Bond 10, and I want Bond efficiency. So do I use Nero with her new costume, because like that's exciting and I want to use her, and then waste the Bond points, or do I bring along like Passion Lip or Lancelot or someone else? So now we have Guts, we have everyone mostly full. Unfortunately, we do lose these two Jean Arts cards. But at least we get a full 3 cards this turn. No Bully Iris Veil, please. Acceptable. Cure all. And then we're gonna go Irie, Jean. Because as much as we do like having Irie around, Jean's really the more important of the two. Wow. Okay. What's the play here? I think the play is Child of Nature. Then Arts, Buster Quick. All we need is 7% NP on Jean to guarantee a Noble Phantasm next turn. Ooh, okay. And Child of Nature serves us well. Sacrificial Resolve. And because we have Sacrificial Resolve up on the same turn as an Irie Noble Phantasm, we're going to use Luminosité Eternale first and then Song of Grail. Because that's just going to compound the overcharge effect. $4,200 healing there. And then 1,000 per turn. And I believe Irie still has the NP gain up from her skill, so that's at least slightly helpful for this refund. We're not losing out on any Jean cards, which is great. The Edison Noble Phantasm there is a bit concerning, but we'll just have to deal with it as it comes. Thankfully, the Guts will at least partially mitigate it. Does hit Irie, and that goes to Phantom. Alright, so the play for this turn I think is going to be have Iris Veil heal herself, and then go Jean Arts Arts Arts. Because that should hit the break bar, and with the crits especially, that's going to bring Jean up to 100% Noble Phantasm. Oh my god. Wow. That was some luck right there. So we lost the Guts on everybody. Now's going to be the time for another NP chain. I'm sorry I have to put you through this, Purple Lugia. So is there any particular reason that the Moon Cancer class, like in lore, has advantage against Avengers and is weak against Rulers? Or is it just for the sake of completing the Affinity Triangle? The Phantom Bully? Alright. Bad hand. No in-lore reason, there's no Rulers or Avengers in CCC. Okay. Not that I'm complaining, because man, the Avenger fights, especially in Shinjuku, were such a challenge. And having any tool to make those a little bit easier, I am A-okay with. Alright, so we need the Jean Noble Phantasm up sooner than the Irie one. So that's the one we're going to prioritize here. Nice crit. And we get a Jean Noble Phantasm, excellent. So we have now lost the Irie Guts, and we want that back ASAP. So we're going to go Luminosity Eternale. We're gonna do Buster because the crit isn't really gonna be that helpful for the next turn, most likely. Okay, so now we really want to see one of them hit Irie. Alright, Edison, I'm relying on you. Come on, Edison, hit Irie. Alright. So we're gonna save the Phantom Noble Phantasm. We're just going to... We're gonna save the Child of Nature, and we're just gonna do an Irie Brave Chain. This is a risky turn, but we don't really have a whole lot of options. I really like the animation on her arts card with the swords. Okay, self-modification EX is fine. Okay, cool. Maybe Moon Cancer beats Avenger, because although Avengers are some of the most powerful, BB can bypass their abilities with her computer hacks. Possibly. Alright, so... now we're gonna go Sacrificial Resolve. The crit up is painful, and we want to avoid that as best as we can. We're gonna be able to stun her next turn if we need to, so we're gonna charm her this turn, just to avoid what damage we might take here. And then Song of Grail, Arts. We're keeping the Phantom Noble Phantasm mostly as a spare arts card if we ever need it to complete an arts chain. %5 away, rough. So now, I was afraid that would happen. So thankfully we do have Guts. We're going to restore HP for Irie, and then we're going to Child of Nature. Not really a whole lot of point in True Name Revelation at this point. We're just going to go Buster, Arts, Buster. Okay, cool. So at the very least... okay. Perfect. So we're not losing anyone this turn. We get another cycle of Noble Phantasms before we have to risk that again. Okay. Iris Veil confirmed for best tank in the game. Now we have Revelation back up. Everyone at almost full health. So we're just gonna go for damage on BB. And then after this turn, I believe the Guts goes away and we can just reapply it. Yes. So Song of Grail, Jean for the damage, and then Irie Arts card once again. Yeah, that was my thinking with Ruler beating Moon Cancer, just because the whole Authority of the Grail, make sure everything's balanced thing. I really enjoyed Jean's role in Apocrypha for that reason. Alright, so we're going to use the Christine this turn for the overcharge effect on Luminosité Eternelle, and also for the sake of getting an Arts Chain for Irie, because we want that Guts pretty much at 100% uptime. And thankfully, the Edison Shadow Servant attack happens to line up this turn as well. So we're avoiding a lot of damage this time around. Okay, Irie is good. I don't know if this will be enough to charge her Noble Phantasm. Not quite. However, that is. Wonderful. So we still have the Guts up for another turn. We're going to wait on the Irie Noble Phantasm. And instead we're just going to use an Irie Brave Chain. I would love to use those nice Jean Ruler cards, but unfortunately, that strengthening can't come quick enough. Alright, so we're about to hit the second break bar. Don't do that. That's fine. That's also fine. So now, Shadow Edison, he's working for me. So now we do Song of Grail, and then these Jean cards. I don't remember what the second break bar effect is. Oh, yes I do. It's NP minus 100%. Okay, so we don't actually hit that quite yet. So because we're about to lose all the Noble Phantasm that we have, we're going to do Arts, Luminosité Eternelle. So the first Arts card is purely to break the bar. Luminosité Eternelle, just so that we use the Noble Phantasm that we're about to lose anyways. And then she's also going to use her Noble Phantasm this turn, so that'll defend us. And then we'll be restarting from 0. So this is going to be probably the hardest part of the fight, because now we're gonna have to restart our Arts engine. Shadow Edison making sure that all is according to Keikaku. Translator's note, Keikaku means plan. Okay. So we're about to have all of the Mystic Code abilities back up. We still have Guts for one turn. I really don't like that Edison Noble Phantasm, but not much we can do about it. We are going to do Sacrificial Resolve into Magical Healing for Phantom. Shame that we can't get the Jean Arts chain. But at least some Irie Noble Phantasm. Not ideal, but acceptable. Okay. So I'm going to do Child of Nature. We're gonna have to save this stun, and we really gotta get that Jean Noble Phantasm up. I think I said stun, I meant save the charm. Not good. Alright. So the charm is vital here. And we just need to get 14% Noble Phantasm on Jean this turn. As long as we do that, we get the Noble Phantasm next turn. And if we lose Irie here, this is the point where that's not a huge deal, because once Mash comes in, then we have a taunt and a targeted invulnerability, so we are able to exert a little bit more control over BB's Noble Phantasm at the cost of healing and Guts. But now that we're getting towards the end of the fight, the healing and the Guts isn't quite as important. So we're going to use Phantom here because he's going to do a bit more for us than Irie will. Okay, wonderful. Okay, Irie Bully is complete. So we're going to... I'm not sure if I want to use Mash's skills to deal with the Noble Phantasm this turn, or if I want to use Luminosity Eternal. I think I'm going to save... I'm going to save Luminosity Eternal. We're going to do Target Focus, Obscurant Wall of Chalk. Then we're going to do Jean Arts and hope that we can get Lord Camelot up. And if we get Lord Camelot, then we have another... Oh yeah, we get Lord Camelot. So now that we have Lord Camelot, we have more defensive options to deal with the Edison Noble Phantasm. And we also have an extra Arts card available for Arts Chains. So we can just use this as needed. So we're going to use Honorable Wall of Snowflakes. I'm debating using Lord Camelot right now. I think I'm going to do that. Because we've got the Jean Noble Phantasm up for when we need it. So we may as well just ensure that Phantom does not get hit by a stray crit and die right here in the home stretch. Okay. And we're going to do True Name Revelation, so hopefully this Edison attack just does absolutely nothing. We're getting there. Ooh. Yikes. Glad I went with the choices that I did. Oh my god. Edison, if you screw this up for me, I swear to God. If I lose this 50 turns in because Edison decides to be a jerk, I am going to be very unhappy. What is the plan here? I think the plan is stun BB. The reason for that being she has 2 instances of self-modification EX up right now, and if she decides to crit Phantom a couple of times, that's the end of the run. So we're gonna go Buster, Quick, Arts. This ought to be pretty close. It's definitely not gonna kill. We're going to redistribute command cards here. Excellent. Gonna set battle speed to slow so that I can capture this. I missed it. But then we use Christine to finish off our ever-helpful minion, Thomas Edison. Or we don't. Okay, so we miss Edison by 1,500. But we did the important part. We got BB. And we reset battle speed to where it belongs. Okay, so there's Edison at least. And there it is, guys. 52 turns, no plug suit, Phantom versus BB. And Irie gets some well-deserved bond level up. Never did wind up using Ruler Martha, but that's okay. I brought her along for more